I grew up in Mount Pleasant, about 5 miles from here. My family were sheep ranchers in Mount Pleasant. When I was in college, my father-in-law approached me about, coming back to the family farm. And I had a passion for agriculture, with growing up in this community, and we jumped right in, and it's a hard way of life. But we've grown a lot as individuals, and it's a great way to raise our kids. We wouldn't want to do anything different. But right now we're in that generational transfer where we got to find an avenue to get this to the next generation, to keep it going. I mean, as a farmer, my father-in-law, he's worked for 45 years on this farm, and this is his retirement. A farmer doesn't have a retirement. They got their assets, and so this farm's his asset, and there's still debt that's tied to that asset. And in order for him if he wants to retire, he has to sell everything to just retire. And the farm's gone. It's out of the family. And that's, him and his brothers and his dad, built this farm from nothing. And for him, he wants it to stay in the family. And I got 4 boys, and me and my wife was raised on this farm, and we want our boys to continue the legacy. But our whole goal here is to keep it going, and so hemp, there's no money in farming. I mean, we don't have a lot of water on it. We're at the mercy of Mother Nature. On a drought year, like last year, we had no water. We didn't get many crops. We did a pumpkin patch, and that we were able to get enough revenue to just scrape by for the year. And here we are this year. It's been a good water year, but and the turkeys have been good for us, but there's still just not enough money. We were able to survive and cover our overhead costs. That's it, period. But how can we purchase this farm? And so that's where hemp comes in. It's like, well, if we can find a way to be profitable in hemp, I mean, I look at it as being an avenue for us to be able to keep the farm going, if we can be successful in it. And if we're successful this year, next year I look to do, 10, 20 acres, if it makes sense and if it works out, because otherwise we're just gonna have to find another way of life, because there's just not enough money in agriculture, and with the debts and to survive and take care of our families. So that's kind of what got us looking, and just got us to try new things, just to see if there's other alternatives out there.
In our valley and in our farms, if you notice, we're not like a flat land like they are back east or in the Midwest. We're kind of on the mountains, okay? Right here, we used to be underwater. Where this lake was, we're on the bottom of that lake. Because the salt's there is a lot of the reason why we're so high in the pH. And so, over time, we get some hard pans and that in the area.
Yeah, that's a good root.
That is really in there, which is good.
And I think my other roots, they were bound. I was way root bound. Holy cow, they go way out there.
Yeah, look at that.
That's a good root.
Bad this year.
So I'd say coming into it, growing a new plant I'm unfamiliar with, I didn't know what to expect. We had an old feedlot here behind us that we haven't had cows in there for the last 6 years. And so we thought, God, we probably got some good phosphates and good nitrogen in the soil. Let's try it. So we went ahead and we planted. As we got our soil tests, our pH was quite high. We had some salinity in the soil. And being unfamiliar with the plant and with the time crunch we were in, I probably didn't do my due diligence like I should. And so the difference between this plot and that there, so that was a feedlot that had cattle in it for years and years, and we had a lot of phosphates, nitrogen, a lot of salinity, and the pH was really high. And so that was probably a big detriment to plant there. As to this piece of ground here that we're sitting at, it just sat, and it's not been used for agriculture, but the soil is really good. So I added some nitrogen and some phosphates with some some organic manure, and we till it in, and you know, so without that the cow manure and the urine and everything on it, we didn't have that pH and the issues in this soil. And so my plants were able to absorb nutrients and get what they needed really well out of this soil. And when I would fertigate, they was able to absorb that nutrients through the soil and the fertigation.